Good morning, fishy freaks.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show. I want to thank everyone that is in chat, and if you are listening from a different platform and would like to interact, come over to Maine's Tail Spur and Finch channel and click the live chat button. So I am sure that you all have noticed we have a third person joining us today, and from time to time we will have a special co-host. Today, that is Mr. James Adams, who owns the channel called Prime Time Aquatics. Welcome, Mr. James.
It's Jason.
Jason,
that's what I'm sorry, Jason. That's right. I was writing down at the same time James Fishing Fever, so it makes somebody else.
Nice. Sorry. Multitasking, yeah.
Well,
thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here for sure.
No, thank you. Yep. We've had let's see, Ed and Rico, Rico, well, I don't, Rico Stan,
Yes.
they've helped me out, being co-host before when Mr. Rocko here couldn't be with me, but, for as of you're the first, extra special host to be with
I don't know about
today.
that. So, I don't know about that one.
Oh,
Fishkeeper
sure.
star.
Sure.
No.
Right. Well, I want to say good morning to everybody in chat. Welcome, Ricky. Thanks for being here. John Larson, Jay Oliver, Fish on Taintix, Miss Lori, and Miss Lori is our mod. A lot of times, if Kenny E, he's also a big mod for me too. Jimmy P, good morning. Must fish cow. Let's see. Greg, 3G, good morning. Greg, 3G is from down here around me, Jason. He's cool. Down here in the lower 48.
Lucky him.
Well, so is Rocko. Wow. Yeah, Rocko's in Texas, but Greg is just right across the river from me in Louisiana. Miss Carrie, there you are. Miss Carrie Science Girl sent me a nice text this morning, calming my nerves some.
Very cool.
New local Austin, also in Texas. Good morning, Mr. Toe. How are you? Edgar Rays, Scott's Aquatics. Papa Shrimp says he's feeling so much better. Oh my goodness,
that's good.
Papa Shrimp had open heart surgery, Jason.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Quadruple bypass.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
You've met him at Aquashella, Orlando.
Yep. Yeah.
Him and Jason, Jordan Aquatics.
Yep.
Or I say it Jordan Aquatics. I think it's Jadron Aquatics, but I say
Jadron as well.
Yeah.
Another Texas fella.
In fact, I talked to him yesterday, and I don't know, maybe it's just my my southern slang.
That's it.
No baby shark all day, every day. What the heck? Okay. Oh, Miss Gina French. Muppet. That's right. We've got 30 people in here already this morning. You brought them with you, Jason.
I don't know. Glad you're here.
He said it's too early in the morning.
There's some people in here that I don't know.
Right.
That are new to me.
Cool.
Hi, Miss Carrie. How are you?
Thank you guys for coming over with me.
Hi. How are you?
Sharpie, good morning. Miss Susan at SLC Aquatics, good morning. Just rolling down the list. Trevor Greger, good morning. Degenerate Fish Keeper, Dave from Iowa. At the Aquatic Morning Show, just got my tickets for Aquashella Chicago. Can only go on Sunday, though. Hope to see you both, and Jason and Miss Joanna. Yes, Well,
Chicago scares me, man.
unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to Chicago.
I'm
I want
from that
to,
area
but
too.
I don't. I know I'm going to make Dallas. I know I'm going to be Dallas because Dallas is like only 4 hours away. I mean, it'd be stupid for me not to be in Dallas.
Yeah, you don't have much
But
of an excuse.
we just got back. Yeah, we just got back from Orlando, and going not this weekend, but next weekend to the the Aquatic Expo in Arlington, which is also right there in Dallas.
Right on.
And then to leave. I'm trying, but I can't say for sure yet. So. It's the Southern Belle accent. Yeah, just a little bit, Sharpie, just a little bit. Dallas is where it's at anyway. Oh, Yagi boy, is that it? Danny E, good morning.
It's outside of Chicago,
Danny
right?
E.
Mm-hmm.
Dan E, what's up?
Richard Chabot.
So no, didn't they say
Illinois.
that Aquashella Chicago was like west of Chicago, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe half hour, maybe so or so? It's in Schaumburg, right?
Yeah, it's in a better location than it was in the past. The one in the past was closer to the city. But Schaumburg it's really easy to get to. So for people who are driving, the expo is right off the highway. It's a fairly nice area. There's tons of restaurants. There's a gigantic mall less than a mile away. So
yeah,
it's I like that. That's where, if people are familiar with the aquatic experience, when it was in Chicago, it's in the same place. So I am it's definitely an improvement in terms of location. Parking is going to be a lot easier. There's going to be a much larger parking lot. So hopefully that will make a more enjoyable experience.
Cool. I'm going to tell my brother to go over.
Carrie, Chicago is going to be so fun. You better be there, Jess. Girl, I'm trying. I may have to bump with you, though. It's in Schaumburg, the old headquarters of Motorola.
Yeah, not far from there.
Wow. Miss Patty said the state of PA is going to shine a little brighter, if only for a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
So I do have I'm an curious mind, so I do have a question. Hmm? And please correct me if I'm wrong. You're a professor?
I am. Yeah, I teach microbiology and biology. Those are the two main classes, and genetics. So I teach genetics, microbiology, biology. Wow. Right now, I've taught most of the life science courses at some point over the last 15 years or so, whether that's molecular, parasitology, virology, which is, I really love that. I would love to start another class in the study of viruses again.
Wow.
Biology of mammals,
general
zoology. Yeah. Some environmental. So it's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
what ages?
College. Yeah. So
you've never taught like grade school, high school?
I taught high school for a very, very, very short period of time back in 2008. I was teaching at the college level, and I joined a program that you kind of do your master's degree in education while you're teaching. And the problem was, at least at that age group, I'm not a good fit for public schools, K through 12, because I'm of the opinion that if you don't get your stuff done, whatever, you're going to pay the consequences for that. Well, that doesn't work as well with high schoolers. So I found that philosophy is much more suited to college level, where people are paying to be there. They're adults. They're starting to understand even the traditional college age, 18, 19 years old, that, hey, I've got to put the effort in if I want to succeed. I'm spending the time, I'm spending the money. I'm going to go ahead, for the most part, and try to accomplish my goals, where it just wasn't a good fit for high school. So I'm glad that I'm I'm teaching at the college level.
That's my girlfriend's an educator as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good fit for me just because of the way that most of their bringing ups, I guess is the word, obedience would drive me through the roof.
And that's the other thing
I was
too
going to
college.
be a bus driver. I was thinking about being a bus driver, and there's no freaking way. No way.
Like I said, the nice thing about college is you're getting into the real adulthood, and for the most part, people they're there to work. So, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah.
That's really cool. Well,
I know when I left school early, take it for what you will, and I went to college early. I mean, I was done with high school, done with it, just pieced out. I was done with it, but I didn't waste any time. I went straight on, and I mean, my grades were great. It, it wasn't for lack of my grades. It was just I was done with them, and I was done with the immaturity and everything. So I rolled on, but college was definitely
you were smart.
Different. Well,
you went into the college scene. I went in the military. That was dumb.
Yeah. I was of age in the 11th grade, and I had like straight A's, and I had to work for my grades. They don't just come. I had to work for them. And I was at school 30 minutes early every morning with the teacher working on, whatever it was, English or math at the time. I usually never had any issues with science or social studies, but man, math and English, they rocked my world. But I had just done. I was done with all the just high school shenanigans, I guess.
Yeah.
And said, I can do this. And that was it. That's what I did.
Yep.
But
well, you're not alone with the math. I mean, that's usually a hang up for a lot of students.
Yeah. And if you're, I would say nowadays, especially if you're not in it for that paper to walk across with, and your grades are good and that's what you're ready for, I'm not going to hold you back. That's what I'm just, but I don't want to hold anyone else back or tell them to either if they want, the experience of, that graduation either. So, cause there is a part of that you do miss. You do, I didn't get senior prom. I didn't get any of that. Of course, last year, nobody got it.
No.
They had to do it virtually.
I feel bad for a lot of the kids. My older son is going to be a junior, and my younger's in middle school, going to be in 8th grade. But I coached my kids' baseball teams for the entire time. Pretty much they were in baseball, and just to see some of these kids miss out on an entire season. And then we know some of the older kids who, they play other sports, football. My younger son was in wrestling, and right about the time that the kids were going to state, that was the weekend that, at least in our state, they shut everything down. So they had made the trip and they were in the hotel that Friday, and they're like, nope, sorry, everything is shut down. So that was lost. All of that was gone. The seasons were all gone. The kids' school years were destroyed. So it was awful. It was a rough year.
And traumatic. I just can't imagine how traumatic it was for a lot of those kids. James Fisher and Fever said he had the prettiest prom dress ready.
Nice.
Richard Chabot said that he is off to get some more cichlids today to finish stocking his 55. And Mr. Jimmy P wants to know if Mr. Jason can talk about how he and Miss Joanna started Prime Time Aquatics.
So it's kind of an interesting story because it wasn't Joanna and I that started it. It was actually my boys and I who started the channel. And I didn't want to. So I had the fish room, and the original plan was I was just going to build a fish room. It was a hobby for me. I enjoyed keeping fish. It was a dream of mine since I was a little kid, is to have a fish room. So I did this thing. And then it was my boys, when they were younger, they were like, hey, why don't you put your fish tanks on YouTube in the fish room? Because they would watch videos and be like, why don't you do this? You've got a degree and all this stuff. I'm like, I just want to enjoy the fish. And they kept not hounding me, but they kept asking me about it and talking about it like they were excited. And so originally this was supposed to be the three of us, me and my two boys, were going to do this thing. And so after about 6 months of them being like, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? I'm like, all right, well, let's sit down and let's think about this. What is it that we want to do with it? What are we going to do? Right? What's the purpose of the channel? And it just naturally leaned towards more education, because that's what I do. So I'm not the type of person who gets in front of a camera, and I'm not super good at the vlogs and doing all the crazy things like some people are, which is a talent that people have that I know I don't have. And so it really came down to, right, if we're educational channels. So then we sat down. I remember we had like a spiral notebook, and we were coming up with video ideas. I'm like, if we're going to do this, I don't just want to be kind of flying by the hip here. So we came up with like probably 200 or 300 video ideas that lasted us. And some of those video ideas we still haven't done, and that's been 4.5 years later. So we just have a running list. And then, we had to come up with a channel name. So we're all sitting there brainstorming all kinds of channel names. I think I came up with Prime Time Aquatics, just like, it's kind of like TV only on YouTube. And so that was the idea there. And my first video is still up on our channel, and it's horrible quality. I mean, I look at that thing, I'm like, I really should take that down. And I even told our subscribers, I'm like, should I just take this down? Like, no, leave it up. And it's funny because in that video, the first video we ever shot, I'm standing like 50, well, it's not 50 feet, but it's probably 15 or 20 feet away from the camera. And the camera was an old Samsung Galaxy S5. There's no mic, because I didn't know anything about YouTube, and I probably should have put more research into it before I just threw a video up on YouTube, but no mic. Luke at that time was probably 11 years old, maybe 12 years old. And he's trying to hold the camera. We didn't have a tripod. So we've got horrible audio. He's standing at least 12 feet away. He's got the camera, and even towards the end of the video, you'll see it, like all of a sudden, like the top half of my head gets chopped off because he's kind of going like this. He's trying his best he can, but it's hard to sit there and hold the camera. And I'm the one talking throughout the video, and he's showing off all the tanks. He did it for a 12-year-old. I thought he did a really great job.
Right.
And then, you just learn. So second video, we learned, okay, you know what? Luke's not going to be able to hold this camera. Let me go out and get a tripod for the phone. Let me go out and get a little lapel mic. And if I'm going to be doing species profiles, let me get a better mic so that the audio is better. And so just, little by little, we made a little improvement here, a little improvement there. And then what was really crazy is somewhere along the lines, Luke decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be bothered with it. And Eli never really got involved in it in terms of the YouTube side of things. And it just became mine for a while. And then what wound up happening is over time, Joanna got more and more involved in the aquascaping side of things. And so she really enjoyed it. And I don't remember exactly her first video. I think it might have been, we went to a swap and she was really excited about the stuff that she found. And we did a video together. And this was probably like, we got a major fish swap haul or something like that. And we're standing by the 50-gallon low boy, and she's got all these wood and plants and everything. And so that might have been the first time she was on the channel. And even that, it was not like we were planning on having her be part of the channel. It was just one of those things where she decided to come on, and she wasn't overly excited about it at first coming, because you guys know, I mean, everybody who's ever been in front of a camera, it's a weird thing. You have to, for me, it was a big adjustment. You can look at my early videos and you can see I'm very awkward in front of the camera because I thought it was going to be fine. I was going to be fine because I teach. I'm always in front of people. I have no problem speaking in front of people. I did the presentation at Aqua Shell. I've done presentations in front of big groups, and it doesn't bother me. I don't get nervous. I don't really even think about it. I don't stress about it. But there was something about talking to this piece of glass right in front of me at first where I was like, this is really weird. It's not natural. It is not a natural thing to talk to a machine. So it takes a long time to get used to that. And so Joanna at first was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this all the time. I just want to kind of, she did that one thing, and then maybe it was like a month or two later, she did another thing. But then there was a time, there was a video where I got sick and my voice was shot. Like I couldn't talk. My voice was completely gone. I'm like, I'd really like to still get this video up. I'm like, do you want to do it? And she was like, she's like, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, why don't you just talk about your top 5 favorite fish in the fish room right now? So I filmed it. She did it. And right about that point, we started talking about getting her more involved in the channel. It was just fun. It was more fun with her being there. So we started looking at options. Like, what are we going to do? By that point, she was really involved in the nano side of things. She loved the nanoscapes. She loved aquascaping. She loved the tanks. We were talking about getting her nano wall up and running, the first iteration of that before it became the nano nook. She had aquascaped a number of our tanks, so she was enjoying that part of it more and more and showing off what she had done. And so then we decided, okay, well, Mondays will be our thing. So basically what wound up happening, what the schedule we have now is Mondays are her and I. We usually do something together. We have a Wednesday live stream. Then I have a Friday video that comes out that's usually more on the educational side. Like today, I had a species profile come out on a fish. So something like that, or it might be some type of chemistry thing, or maybe it is a fish room tour or a fish store, or it could be any number of things, but that's usually mine. And then we've got the members only videos that come out on Thursdays, which is more vlog style. But so that's kind of how it started. It was never a thing where it was, we have this plan until we got to the point where we started writing ideas down. But the way it is now is very different than the way I envisioned. I always envisioned it was going to be me and the boys, and we were going to do our thing, and Joanna never wanted any bit of it. They're not part of it, don't want to be part of it. Now, they're part of the fish room. They are the ones that are responsible for maintaining the fish room. So I get asked that all the time. How do you work and maintain 70 or 80 tanks and do YouTube? And the answer is I don't. I work. I'm a biology professor, and I do the YouTube stuff, which keeps me insanely busy because now Joanna's got her own channel, the Smallscape. And between those two channels, we're doing like 6 videos a week. So I do that. But the boys are responsible for maintaining the tanks. So they have their little schedule and they spend a couple hours a day just doing various parts of the fish room, water changes, gravel vac if it needs it.
Way cool.
Removing duct.
I got to meet your boys, and they are very well-mannered young men.
They do okay. They do okay in a public situation. All kids have their moments. Sometimes you see them. If you were to see them at home, they'd be a little different. But yeah,
you've seen mine. Mine were all over the place.
Yeah, but your kids were good. They were well behaved too, just kind of chilling out. But so yeah, that's kind of the quick rundown of Prime Time Aquatics and how it's evolved over time. Man.
Very cool.
Well, good deal. That sounds interesting. I wish I could get my husband to really be full in on the fish. And he's got a friend that's a biologist that's also a deputy. And he is working on him, and so am I. So hopefully we have high hopes. But the other day, he brought me home a new betta, which is like, it's always, you're spending too much on fish. These fish aren't making any money. You're spending too much. And then he brings one home. So I'm like,
and that's the thing,
we're
too.
gonna get you there.
Yeah, the fish thing, if you're looking to make money in fish, that's not an easy thing to do, right? Maybe breaking even, maybe getting enough to pay for what you spend, but to actually make money and to start to make a living from it, either whether that's breeding or, you know, a lot of people with YouTube channels know this, especially fish. I would say when it comes to doing things on YouTube, animals and fish are probably one of the more expensive ways you can go in doing that, because you're buying setups, you're buying fish, or if it's an animal YouTuber, you've got to maintain all the tanks. You have to feed the animals. You have to care for them properly. They may have to go to the vet, or you might need meds or equipment, and things break. And it's not the same as, you know, YouTubers who do current events or something like that, where they get in front of the camera and talk about something that just happened, and you don't have to spend, you know, even a small tank, as you know, you set up a 10-gallon tank. Yeah, that probably just costs you, even if you find stuff on for a good deal, once you get the fish and everything in it, probably $100, you know,
at least
$100. Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, and that's if you're really trying to make sure that everything is low cost.
That's right. Yeah. We're going to take a small break real quick. I'm getting some feedback saying that we may have a little echo going on. So we need to check and see if anybody's got YouTube open. But we're going to take just a very small break, and we're going to listen to Mr. Jason from Jordan Aquatics with Fish Nerd. Have you heard that yet, Mr. Jason?
What's that?
I'm a fish nerd.
The Fish Nerd song that Jason from
Nerd. I'm a fish nerd.
Did.
All right. Nice. Well, here we go. Let's see. Remember to get the volume.
Don't grab me a soda or some water.
Okay. Okay. Make sure to share. It takes me just a second. There we go. Let me take that off. We'll come back to that. And play.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason with Jordan Aquatics. Thanks for joining me. What the heck is that noise?
So I don't have headphones.
I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd. I got 400 tanks in every room of my house. There's not a prayer in the world of me finding a spouse. I'm spilling water on the floor and all over the wall. No matter if it's carpet, I'm ruining it all. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd, a fish nerd. Scientific names just rolling out my mouth. I love cichlids from the north and plectals from the south. There's a whole lot of folks up in the fish fam. There's Corey and Bob and Jadron. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. Petco and Walmart stop killing my fish. I'm tired of rescuing betas that are dying in a dish. Every employee, they just seem to be lost, selling Oscars with guppies. But at what cost? I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. It's Saturday again, heading to the fish store. I'm addicted to fish, I need more and more. I keep buying more fish, and I don't have the room. I'll put them in the bathtub, let the buying resume. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. Doing water changes all day and night. I can't get the pH where it seems just right. I do 10.
Oh no. There we go.
20 or 30%. So many fish, they need to pay me rent. Fish.
Oh my goodness, my internet is having a blast with this.
Nerd, a fish nerd. Fish nerd, a fish nerd. Sucking up the water crap going up my nose. I can't seem to stop making fish room videos. YouTube, I love you, but you ain't paying squat. Gotta keep a real job, don't like it a lot. I'm a fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd. fish nerd, a fish nerd, fish nerd, a fish nerd.
All right. That was our friend,
Way
Mr.
cool.
Jason from Jordan Aquatics.
Very cool.
So we have Miss Cookie who says, can you please explain how the matin filter works? Not how to set it up, but exactly how does it filter?
Magic.
I don't have a mountain filter. I can't understand. I don't know.
So
Matins are cool though. I dig them.
matin filters work the same way as a sponge filter, essentially. Exactly. What they do is, if you look at a matin filter, it's just a piece of sponge in a different shape. All right. So you've got circular sponge filters or square ones. And then you've got the matin filters, which are a big rectangle that are designed to go in one side of the tank. So there are two different types of matin filters, generally speaking. There are the ones like I showed in my video when I did a video on matin filters, which kind of go along the side of a tank. And then there are those that are corner matin filters, which are actually probably a little bit better looking. And they just kind of, they have a little piece of plastic that kind of sets them in the corner. So all that's happening is behind the matin filter, you've got usually just a piece of PVC with an elbow, and you've got an air line that goes all the way down to that piece of PVC at the very, very bottom. And as the air enters that PVC, it goes up and then out the matin filter, and that creates suction, just like it would in a sponge filter as the bubbles go down. And as that air is going up the PVC and around the corner and back out into the tank, well, you're creating flow. And so that water is also moving out. Well, if your water is moving out, you need to replace it. And so what ends up happening is it starts sucking water through the matin filter to replace the water that's going out with all the air and the flow that you're creating behind it. So it's kind of the same philosophy as your sponge filter, where you've got the air coming down, and usually there's a line somewhere. If you really want them to work well, you can put in a little piece of hose with an air stone, and then allow that to go towards the bottom of the sponge filter. And as that air comes back out, it's bringing the water in and sucking that water right through the sponge filter. So that's kind of how they work. Now, I will say, matin filters, for the most part, do a pretty bad job of mechanical filtration. So getting stuff out of the water column, I find them to be probably one of the least efficient at doing it. Now, they do awesome at biological filtration. So it's a lot of surface area to house beneficial bacteria. So you've got all these microbes along that surface area. So converting your ammonia to nitrite and then your nitrite to nitrate, doing the nitrification process, they're awesome for that. They're not great for sucking stuff out of the water, like little pieces of detritus or fish waste or just water cloudiness.
Right.
That's not so great. But sponge filters aren't that great at that either. So if you're looking for something like that, then you want something with a little bit more circulation, hang on back filters, whether that's or internal, external canister filters, something along those lines.
I always wanted to do the matin filters in my shrimp tanks.
Your breeders?
Only really because I know that the shrimp like to be on that sponge. Yeah. I mean, they just cover it up, compared to anything else in the tank. But haven't done that yet. So, but that's the only thing I ever wanted a matin filter for.
Matin filters are perfect for shrimp because they're not creating a lot of waste.
Right.
You've got a massive surface area for them to pick at. And sponge filters are great for that too. Where they start to struggle a little bit is when you have your traditionally stocked community tanks, or you're trying to breed, I don't know, guppies, and you're going to leave them in that tank for a while. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I went from 6 guppies, everything was fine, to 60. And now the water's not looking as great. It might be testing fine, which that's the most important point. But who wants to look at a tank that's all nasty?
Right. All right. Miss LO says, good morning from Chicago.
Wow,
they
cool.
had gotten COVID back when right at the shutdown. So thank goodness that it was late, but better than nothing. Yeah. That's all right. Rico Stan, good morning and welcome from coming in. And Petro Man, we had a lot of people come in here on this second 30 minutes. Dan E. Prime Time Aquatics is the best.
Well, thank you.
Let's see. Prime Time Aquatics with a box filter stuffed with sponge instead of PVC pipe work well with a matte filter.
Would a box filter stuffed with sponge? Hold on. Let me look at that. Where is that question?
Right here.
There you go.
Okay. Would a box filter stuffed with sponge instead of PVC pipe work well with a matte filter? So you're going to combine them? You certainly can. I mean, you can combine any two types of filters. I get that question a lot. Like, hey, can I use a sponge filter and a hang-on back? Sure. We do it all the time. If you're thinking about combining a box filter with the matte filter, yeah. The box filter is, if we're just talking about basically the old school little plastic filters, that's what I'm assuming you mean by a box filter, where it's got, back in the old days, they'd have these little green ones. They'd be sitting in they'd almost be sitting in the corner of a tank. Remember those? And it was always the same thing. You had your filter floss and then your carbon on top, right? But they do suffer from some of the same issues as the matte filters and the sponge filters. And that is, you're still going to be dealing with mechanical filtration issues. Although if I were using box filters, they'd almost be exclusively filter floss and those things. I would just pack them full of filter floss, just because I would want them to trap as much of the waste as possible. And that's how I would use them.
Yeah, and you guys who don't know and haven't been in a sewing place, or even Walmart has them, the big bags that are cheap, like $5. I mean, you're going to pay like $15 for a small bag at Petco or PetSmart or any of the, animal stores. But yeah, go to one of the, even like same thing. Just like a Hobby Lobby. They've got huge bags. Depending on how much you're going, or, I even use it for shipping, but, big, it's so much cheaper. Much cheaper.
Yeah, the number one way to save money in the aquarium hobby is when you get rid of replacing filter cartridges. Those things are 100% always a waste of money. There's never a time that I can think of where that's a good buy, where that's a good purchase. Right. And a lot of people, obviously, if you're newer to the hobby, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's the first time hearing about it. But we've done videos on how to save money in various ways in the aquarium hobby. One of them is don't ever buy those filter cartridges. Instead, like even with our marine land filters, what we'll do is we'll cut out, once the little blue pad and the carbon behind it is ready to change out, I'll cut that blue part out, dump the carbon. I don't use carbon anyway. Dump that in the trash, and then I leave that piece of plastic just so that it's kind of like a framework to kind of just rest the filter floss against it, so it kind of holds it up so it doesn't just get wet and saggy. But I would, and that's pennies. It's pennies.
Yeah, I do the same thing, man. Same thing.
MNC Aquatic says at Jason, I have an old diatomaceous earth filter. Do you remember those?
I do remember those. I think at one point as a kid we had it. I haven't used them as an adult, so I'm certainly no expert in the best way to assemble them or set them up. But yeah, I do remember those.
We were just talking about diatomaceous earth the other day.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it was Mike, Florida Fish Rescue, and he is making they clean up green water, but it's some kind of filter made with diatomaceous earth that what was it, son of a gun, those green light, it replaces those new green light, or the light. Yes UV. That's it. He said they're just as good and they're cheaper, but for whatever reason, the diatomaceous earth, it just kind of fad went away, and now it's the B, but he's trying to bring that back. I've got a green tank. It's a 20 gallon that's went green on me. And I decided that instead of, I wanted to figure out how to get rid of it. I was going to go buy UV light and all that stuff. And then I was like, no, you know what? I've got grow outs. I'm just going to take that water, put it in my grow outs, leave the lights on. So I've got green water for my grow outs. Mm-hmm. And now I leave that tank green. So just in case one of the, this doesn't, my grow outs don't go, or if I need it outside. So it may not look great, but good grief, it is so good for the grow outs.
Oh, absolutely. Especially you're breeding really tiny fry, like rainbow fry or tetras or something. That green water it's good stuff.
Kenny E, Danica Aquatics, good morning. Good to see you, man. Let's see. We've also got JDR. Hey, Jan, how are you? Jan is from over the seas, somewhere over there.
It's in Holland, isn't it? Isn't it Holland?
Holland, that's right. Holland, that's right. Holland.
Yeah, man.
I like to use external breeder boxes as a small filter with filter flaws to reduce electricity usage. That's Papa Shrimp. Okay.
Come on.
Huh.
Come on.
Yeah, they do. They move water. That's for sure.
Let's see.
The ones that I have, they don't move enough to make it an efficient filter. I've got the Marina ones, and at least even on full blast, they do it. I mean, they move water for sure. I just have never been able to allow them to do a decent job of filtration.
So I'm assuming MNC is talking about, I don't know what I don't remember which filter he's talking about. He wants to set that filter up, but may use it in one of the old Metaframe tanks, even though I use box filters in those. Maybe he's talking about the Matin filter, maybe.
Yeah, or the diatomaceous. Either way, I think you're going old school, right? So if you have an old school tank set up, you really do need a box filter. If you want to make it period correct, you'd have to have the metal frame tank with the box filter. The heater remember the heater, it can't be fully submersible because old school, you had to clip those onto the rim of the tank. And then you need the incandescent light bulbs with the aluminum the light bar.
That's right.
And if you really want to get crazy with it, you can do one of two things with the background. You can either go a picture with the background, right, of other fish, or you can paint it like some kind. Like when I was a kid, we had the metal flake, like the gold metal flake paint in the background. So that was always fun, and you have to go colored gravel too. I mean, there's not going to be
colored gravel.
Colored gravel. Amen.
Yep.
Got the metal matching. There we go.
Right on.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. So
Jason, real quick question for you. Real quick question for you.
Go for it.
You had mentioned that you coached baseball for your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a baseball fan? You like baseball?
Yeah, I would say baseball is probably my favorite sport. I don't follow the major leagues really anymore, just because in our area, we haven't had cable in probably 15, maybe 18 years. It's been a long time. We got rid of cable, never got it back. In baseball, in my opinion, Major League Baseball is making a massive mistake, and every team has put all of their games for the most part on cable networks, and you've got people who are cutting the cord. And you combine that now with teams doing their own channels as well. It's like, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. So I love baseball. I don't follow the major leagues. We've got a minor league team, and this is Chicago. We got the White Sox. We've got the Cubs right to the north in Milwaukee. It's almost easier to get to a Brewers game, right? And I don't watch any of them. I go to there's a minor league team in the area, and we'll probably go to 15 of those games, but I don't watch the majors anymore.
Those, you know what, those games like that are probably the best to watch, I think.
Yeah.
That and college ball,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They're there for a purpose. They're not there just for a paycheck,
And those kids,
those are the greatest
18,
games.
19, 20, something years old, early 20s, they're still throwing 90, 92, 93. I've seen guys throw 94 in these games, and they're still hitting the ball 400 feet. So the speed of the game is comparable to what you'd find in the major leagues, only It's probably 25% of the cost, and it's free parking, and it's a lot easier to get to. You don't have to worry about all the hassle.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just a much.
So now, when you did follow MLB, who was your team?
White Sox are probably my number one, but I'm one of those people where, I don't mind.
I'm a North Sider. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in 2016,
Oh, that was an amazing year, brother.
Was that me or him?
I think it's him. See, that's what happens when you like the White Sox. Oh no, Jason.
I tell you what, while he's working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and play Mr. Pleco. So it'll take me just a second.
Dave from Iowa, my cat's name is Gunner.
All right. Like that. And we see some new names today. Thank you guys for being here.
Watching. You guys are the best.
Are here every morning at 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
Same fish time, same fish channel.
That's right. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Mr. Pleco Cat, where the funk you at? Mr. Pleco Cat, funky Pleco Cat. Mr. Pleco. Driftwood Rider, Ultimate Hider, Algae Eater, Good Tank Cleaner, Nocturnal Feeder, Good Breeder, Mr. Pleco Cat, Pleco Cat, Mr. Pleco, Mr. Pleco. Mr. Pleco, where the funk you at? Mr. Pleco, funky Pleco Cat. Tanks on, 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 eating high, eating high, eating high, eating high, Mr. Pleco. Mr. Pleco. Mr. Pleco, Mr. Pleco, Mr. Pleco.
All right. All right. That was Mr. LRB Lucas Bretz. Welcome back, Mr. Jason.
Hey.
My internet must have gotten. Were you guys okay?
Well, see, that's what happens when you say you like the White Sox, you know?
I guess. All of a sudden, and that's unusual. Our internet's usually in pretty good shape. It's very frustrating.
My internet issues must have jinxed yours.
Yeah. Usually,
I've always got issues.
And you guys know this too, when you're uploading videos, I get the most expensive internet on the face of the earth because I don't want to be sitting there for 12 hours trying to upload videos. So, I'm glad I'm back. But anyway, yeah.
Yes.
White Sox, don't mind the Cubs.
For the first time, you guys, we hit 50 people in this live stream.
The benchmark, baby. What?
That's right. We have hit a milestone. That's right. Fish Dreams, welcome, Miss Lori and Miss Elizabeth, Miss Liz and Miss Heather. Good morning. They are with Florida Fish Rescue.
Cool.
And Miss Lady Diane is here. Oh, Fordman, aka Kenneth Oakes. Good morning.
Mr.
John
Kenneth.
Sua, good morning. Yep. Going to try to do some work on my tanks. Much love. Oh my goodness, Papa Shrimp. Do not rush it, please.
Yeah, just be careful.
Please.
Exactly.
Yes.
No bucket carrying.
Don't rush it.
Exactly.
Right?
How we doing, white chipmunks? Good to see you.
White chipmunks. Oh my goodness. Jason, she came up the other day and she has got, for real, white chipmunks. You're so cute.
That's a real animal,
like,
yeah.
Really?
Like, that's a real animal.
Gorgeous.
It looks like a white squirrel, but they are so cute.
That's pretty
They
cool.
are amazing.
That's
She's
really
got those little rats too that look like baby raccoons or something.
That's too funny.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Rats are awesome pets.
Then she lives in Canada.
Okay.
Canada.
Huh.
Yep.
Who knew?
James Green, Houston, we have a problem. I guess that's when we froze.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going
Red-winged
back.
blackbird.
Dave from Iowa. Thank you.
Dinoski tanks.
What's your cat's name?
His
Mine's
name's Gunner.
Bruno. Mine's Callie.
I got a Gunner.
Metal flake backgrounds. I remember that. Oh my, you make me feel old, Jason.
Right?
Nice. Yeah,
my dad had some
D-Boy said that he sees
some kind of weird stuff he put on the glass, and it was like you could get it in blue, green, red, but it looked, I don't know, like a chemical reaction. It just like had like shards. It looked like shards of color.
Huh.
Yeah, it was really neat looking. I don't know where he got it from.
That's interesting.
But it looked really neat. But we had that. We had blue and red, and it was one of them old metal frame tanks like that. I remember that vividly.
Wow. Fish dreams.
or somebody said they had the old guy under the swimming down to the chest that had the bubbler on it in the tank. The old.
Yeah. Yeah, you when you set up a tank back then, you had to have some kind of bubbly guy, whether it was the bubbly guy, the bubbly clam, the bubbly treasure chest. Yep. You always had the pirate, the fake cave, like the elongated one, but it was like rainbow colored yellow and orange and blue, and those were big back then. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, white chipmunks. I will open up panel at about 10:30, and we can definitely show Jason your white chipmunks. That would be great.
Yeah, cool.
But let's wait until
digging those.
then.
Those are so neat.
They really are cool. My cat was called Zach, or the Floof monster. Floof monster. Now he's a ghost cat that likes to chew on airlines, jump up on the bed at 3 a.m. Wow. Sharpie, you're something else with all the... Man, he's like, that is the ghost town he said he lives in.
Nice.
My friend has a UV 395 light show glow in stones. What? Like they have the glow stones, so they have a UV light that makes them glow? That's what I'm getting out of that. Is that what y'all are getting out of that?
Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm understanding.
Here's an interesting question.
She said, awesome.
Petroman said, can some biomedias really reduce nitrates, or is it a bunch of poopy? Yeah, some can. There's media out there that can reduce nitrates by establishing an anaerobic environment. I am hesitant to recommend them because, and I don't use them because the way we do fish keeping in the aquarium hobby, we are putting, generally speaking, we're putting a lot more aquatic life per volume than you would ever find in nature. Like, it's not even close. Because of that,
right,
you would need a massive amount of anaerobic area, right, or media to accomplish that, what is known as
Dang. Yep. I'm just glad it's not me.
Oh, wait, I'm back?
Yeah, you're back.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, you're
So,
back.
when we're talking about the nitrogen cycle, we're not actually cycling a tank. We're half cycling it. We're starting with something called the fish produce ammonia or ammonium.
Yes.
That ammonia gets converted to nitrite by bacteria. So this is the part of the thing that we mostly know. And then you've got microbes that convert the nitrite to nitrate. And we say, okay, well, the fish tank is cycled. That's not really true. That's what's known as the nitrification process. It's the top part of the nitrogen cycle. But then there's this second part that we very rarely ever talk about. And that is, okay, well, what happens with the nitrate? Well, what most people do is, and we talk about on our channel, you do water changes to remove the nitrate because it's difficult to establish a natural way to do that. Now, the easiest way, in my opinion, is not the media, it's using plants. So if you've got tanks that can grow plants, use plants. Let the plants remove the nitrate. And basically what they're doing is they're removing the nitrate, they're incorporating that into biomass, and then you're basically exchanging the nitrate in your water for biomass from the plants. It's one of the ways that they're growing. If you wanted to establish those anaerobic environments, because that is an anaerobic process, now what you're doing is you're trying to rely on the bacteria to convert that nitrate.
Uh-oh.
Darn. Bless his heart.
Where'd we lose me? It was the last thing you heard.
Converting the nitrate.
Yeah.
Converting the nitrate to nitrite, then eventually to nitrogen gas, and it goes back out into the atmosphere. And that is a complete nitrogen cycle. That media, it can work. For every person I've heard, it worked great. There was a person on the other side that said it never worked for me. And I think part of that is because it depends on the type of filter that you put it in. That media is traditionally designed for larger filtration systems like sumps. If you've got a sump, you've got plenty of area down there to run that kind of media, that might work better. If you've got a really large external canister filter, there's a chance it's probably going to work better for you. If you've got a hang-on back filter, you probably don't have enough space in that hang-on back filter unless it was crazy large. Like, I've got an AquaClear 110 on my 10-gallon. Well, you got bigger problems at that point. So that's where I think the issue comes in. Can it
probably
work?
not keeping any substrate down whatsoever.
Right? Yeah. Not keeping any fish. They're all plastered against the glass.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem runs into. If you've got the right filtration system for it, it can potentially work. Most people don't. And you've got the right stocking levels. And you don't need that stuff. If you've got plants, you're like, okay, well, I can't keep plants in. Maybe you've got some African cichlids. You can grow pothos out of your filter. You can grow pothos out of the tank. Yeah, sometimes they'll pick at the roots, but if you get enough of that, that can accomplish the same purpose. Now, maybe you don't want to look at all that. You just rather have the media. You can certainly try it. See if it works. Maybe you've got a filtration system where it will work for you. For us, we don't. We run all sponge filters. And in the hang-on back filters we have, it's for mechanical filtration. I will use plants and water changes to deal with the nitrite. Or nitrate, sorry.
Fish Stream says a common mistake is people get nitrite and nitrates mixed up.
Yeah, ammonia and nitrite are the things you don't want in your tank. Now, even with the ammonia, though, that can be a little bit of a gray area because I actually did a video on when you use a testing system, you're measuring all the ammonia, total ammonia, nitrogen. And so when you measure all that, it's the unionized ammonia. It's the actual NH3. That's the bad stuff. The NH4 isn't so bad. Well, your testing kits are measuring both. So in that concentration, ammonia to ammonium, is determined by a number of factors. One of them being pH, one of them being water temperature, a little bit of salinity. So when you're looking at that, there are people like, oh my gosh, my ammonia test kit always says 0.5 and I don't have it in my tap water. I don't know what's going on. And then they actually look at there's an ammonia calculator that I connect to that video, and they realize this isn't even toxic to the fish. And they've been just going crazy for months and months. Like, why isn't my tank cycle? This is horrible. Or my fish going to die? And they realize, well, no, because your pH is so low, or your temperatures are at a certain point. The temperatures are lower where it's really not having an impact. Nitrite you don't want in your tank. So, but for the most part, it's safe to say ammonia and nitrite you really don't want to have in your
Get
aquarium.
it out of there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I'm working. No, I mean, do you have any saltwater tanks, or y'all just freshwater only?
We're just freshwater. Not that I don't like saltwater. I have nothing against them for sure. Every time I
Right.
go to a pet store and I glance over at the saltwater side, I see cool things. But I've always said if I did saltwater,
Right.
I'd want to do stuff that where, if you had somebody new to the freshwater fish keeping, they'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to start a freshwater tank and I'm going to keep large South American cichlids and I'm going to keep some African cichlids. And they're going to just go start with the hardest things, right? Where for me, and I don't even know enough to know if this is a bad thing. It's like, if it were me, there's only 3 saltwater fish that I'm really interested in: gobies of all kinds, jellyfish, and seahorses.
Yes.
I don't know enough to know if those are even.
Yes.
Like, where is that on the difficulty scale? If you guys keep saltwater, I would love to know on the difficulty scale. Jellyfish, seahorses, and gobies. Like, where are those? Is that like me saying, yep, I'm going to keep a bunch of large South American cichlids together in a 125 and it's going to work out fine? Or am I saying something stupid? I really don't know in terms of keeping them in a fish tank. So I'm assuming they're probably not easy because you don't see them.
Right. I've got,
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, when we went to Orlando, I brought back with me sand and water and, everything that I wanted that came with the sand. And I knew that I had 1 or 2 crabs. But we're finding now all these little copepods and all these. I ended up with 10 that I can see little crabs, and all of the things that are starting to grow now but it took a minute to get everything settled. Like, even though you would think because it came straight from the ocean and so did the sand and everything, that it was already completely safe, with what I thought. No. But I have fighting my nitrates. Yeah, nitrates. And so with my pH, it is a different world. But I think if you started with salt water and switched to fresh water, it is so much easier than going from fresh water to salt water.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. The other thing too is the saltwater stuff takes more time. Right? It just takes more time to make sure you got the saltwater, correct salinity, and it just takes more time, more attention, more money. And I would just rather have a fish room where I can set up 80 separate ecosystems and keep 80 different things going and watch all these different fish and have variety than say, okay, well, in terms of time, because I'm not going to rely on the boys to do those kinds of water changes right now. So it's like, okay, now I'm the one maintaining it. And in terms of cost, if I wanted to set up for me, I'd probably want to do at least a 75-gallon saltwater tank. I don't think I would go less than that. It's like, okay, for the cost of that tank, I probably could have set up an entire wall of freshwater tanks. So when you include the cost of the fish and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I haven't done it yet. I'm not saying I won't,
and they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Expensive. I mean, like crazy. I don't have any fish in mine yet. And my main goal, like the end goal for my saltwater tank is the Mandarin gobies. I want the Mandarin gobies. So
those are gorgeous too. Yeah.
And so I'm getting, letting all those copepods grow, and I probably will buy some more to put in it to grow. And then, but Mandarin gobies are cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to like the cleaner shrimp, which I'm going to get some of those too. But I mean, you would think, okay, a shrimp to a Mandarin goby. I mean, you think the prices would be flipped, but they said no. He said those Mandarin gobies are a dime a dozen. He said they're like your goldfish in saltwater. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fishy Biz, what's up, buddy?
Fishy Biz, Detroit shrimp.
Fishy
Good morning, you guys. Chewy.
Yeah. Big Tank had a really good question, I thought. It says, Jason, I'm thinking about going back to under gravel filters. What's your thought?
So that is a good question. Actually, if we go back to the late 80s and throughout the 90s, a lot of, so now we're moving out of the 70s and early 80s. We're transitioning to the late 80s and into the 90s. You've got almost every fish tank kit, because they were cheap, right? Much cheaper than trying to sell you a hang-on back filter that's got mechanical parts and moving parts. They all came with under gravel filters, and you put that bad boy in there and you covered it with obviously gravel. You ran your air pump. And so the idea there is same thing as we were talking about with the matin filters and the sponge filters. You run that hose all the way down, usually with an air stone. And as that water's coming up that big giant uplift tube, and it's making that turn, it's sucking water through the substrate and around and back. And that's your circulation. So when it comes to under gravel filters, there is not very good mechanical filtration. I mean, yes, you're pulling stuff down. That's good. But it's not like you're getting a ton of flow. Now, yes, I know there are people who hook up power heads. I want to talk about that in a second.
Wow.
But if you're just doing air, it's not going to be tremendously good in terms of mechanical filtration. Now, we don't run any under gravel filters. And in fact, we had a few tanks that had them. And as we redid those tanks, I pulled all those plates out of there and got rid of them. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I keep a lot of cichlids. And the problem is, as soon as you expose the under gravel filter, so if they're digging and they now expose part of that under gravel filter, the water is going to go where there is the least amount of resistance. In other words, it's going right through the exposed part of the under gravel filter. And now what you've got is an issue, because the rest of your substrate that was housing the beneficial bacteria are no longer getting oxygen. And when they're not getting the oxygen they need, they're aerobic. They need that oxygen. They start to die. So not only are you bypassing your filter, but now you're killing the microbes that are now increasing the bioload in your tank. And you've got fewer and fewer microbes that are actually doing the nitrification process. So that was my personal issue is I want my tanks, I want to be able to put anything I want in those tanks and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, that's right, these fish dig. I can't put them in that 75 because there's under gravel filter in there. So that was my main issue and why I generally don't use them. A lot of people say, well, just put a power head. It works great. You get a lot more suction, a lot more flow. That's true. But if I'm going to put a power head in there and use that energy, why not just put a hang-on back filter? They're going to do 100 times better job of mechanical filtration. They're going to be way easier to maintain. They're not trapping any stuff at the bottom. Yes, I know you can throw a gravel vac under there and suck all that stuff out, but hang-on back filters are just a million times easier. So they've got their own issues when you're comparing the two. And I've done videos comparing hang-on back filters to under gravel filters. So I get all that. But once you go the power head route, to me, then it stops making sense. To me, at that point, I just want you might as well just do something else that plugs in that's going to be easier for you.
Right.
So, but they're good. To be clear, if you don't have fish that dig and you're not ever going to have fish that dig in that tank, maybe you just want a little community tank. Absolutely. They can be great. You're going to get a lot of surface area for
shrimp.
Or shrimp. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Good question, though. I thought that was a really good question.
I think that for like the under gravel filters and the one Dr. Novak, I think that works good.
Oh, that slow move. What do you call it? A slow moving plenum or something like that?
Yeah. But for most of us, we overstock our tanks anyway. Yeah. So we have to overdo it. And if you're just doing, that, I just don't think it works unless you, like I said, you've got shrimp and you're not overstocking or letting it get overstocked.
But the only issue is it's not biological. You can overstock the heck out of a tank with an under gravel filter, as long as you're not digging. I am of the opinion that when it comes to filtration, it is very, very difficult to under filter a tank, biologically speaking. You look at what L.R. Bretz is doing. I've been in his fish room. He's got 300 tanks, and he doesn't have a filter in sight. And then not only that, he's got some air stones in some tanks, but he's even gotten away from that in some of his larger tanks where you'd be looking at that and be like, how's that even a thing? And it works just fine. Now, granted, he's not stocking his tanks very heavily. my 50-gallon lowboy had probably 30, 40 mollies, and most of them were full grown. And at one point, the canister filter wasn't even running for months and months and months. I had plants. I had a single air stone in the center of that tank, no ammonia, no nitrite. So when it comes to this idea of over filtering, biological filtration, as long as you've got water flow, every surface in your tank is a filter. That's your driftwood. Mm-hmm. That's the surfaces of even fake plants. That's part of the glass. As long as they've got adequate access to oxygen, your beneficial microbes are going to grow. They're the top parts of your substrate. So an under gravel filter is great. The issue is the mechanical side, pulling the stuff that floats in the water, pulling that out of the water column and getting that so it's not visible, because maybe it's not the worst thing for the fish. I mean, unless it's excessive, but you just don't want to look at that, right? What's the fun of looking at your tank? And be like, if it's a display tank, if you're just in a fish room, it's like, hey, this is a breeding tank, whatever. But for most people, they want to sit down, look at their tank, and have it be a source of stress relief, not like, well, this is no fun to look at. It's dirty and the fish are fighting and there's algae everywhere. I can barely see them and there's stuff floating in the water. Then it's not so much fun.
Right. Chewy was saying that the Mandarin goby is a dragonite, which is more closely related to a blenny. Yeah. I still like them. I don't care what it is. I love them.
Right. Yep. Now, see, even Degenerate Fish Keeper says, thoughts on the anoxic filter?
Anoxic filters are basically, so
it's a slow moving under gravel, correct?
Yeah. You're setting up an anaerobic environment. In microbiology, we use that term differently, because anoxic to me means that you've got some type of phototroph. You've got something that is photosynthetic. So I don't really like the use of that term when it comes to filtration, because if you're talking about something that is anaerobic, because they mean different things. Anoxygenic means that it's the exact opposite of anaerobic in a sense. You've got an organism that is usually a photosynthetic organism that is taking something like hydrogen sulfide, which can build up in a tank, and then converting that to sulfur, where your anaerobic organisms are using something like nitrate or sulfur and converting that, like in the case of sulfur, converting that back to hydrogen sulfide. So we got to be really careful there. I'm assuming with the anoxic, we're talking about anaerobic. So you've got a slow moving environment where there's not a lot of oxygen. And again, you still got the same potential issues there. And that is, do you have a large enough buildup of microbes, anaerobic microbes that are going to reduce the nitrate in a meaningful way?
Gotcha. Another good question.
Yep. So
I think we're going to have Jason come up here a lot more often.
Somebody gave me a little bit of background on the saltwater fish, and they said, and I don't remember who said it, and I'm trying to go through the chat, so I'm sorry because I probably messed this thing all up. But they were talking about the fish, and they said, yeah, the gobies are fine. Seahorses and jellyfish are definitely not beginner things. Yeah, if I were keeping them, I would not. And I saw something in here. The seahorses and the jellyfish, I would keep those in a species only tank. I'm not, the food issue is probably not the thing that I'm worried about most, because I know what they eat. My issue is making sure they've got the proper Lunatic Fringe said, most gobies are easy. Seahorses are not considered a beginner fish or suited for a community. Jellyfish are not that difficult. Again, not meant for community. Yeah, with the seahorses and the jellyfish, that'd be a species only, just because I think they're cool. And the seahorses would get massively outcompeted for food. That I know. Jellyfish and other fish in the size tank that we normally do, probably not going to work. So if you try to combine them. I know that much, but
natural aquariums. Yeah. So I got you, buddy. Yeah. As Sharpie says, expensive filters exist to make us feel better, not for the fish, basically.
Yeah, I see that all the time, especially
I do too.
I stay out of the comments on the Facebook groups because it just starts a thing. And then every
I
once in a
know.
while, somebody will copy me on a thread and they post one of my videos in a Facebook chat thing. And all of a sudden people are arguing back and forth. I don't have time to do that, but you see that a lot in the Facebook groups. It's like, yeah, what kind of filter do you need for a 75 gallon, or let's just say 125 gallon peacock tank? You got all these people like, well, I run a couple of FX6s and a hang on back, and I've got some sponge filter cycle just in case. And I'm thinking, if I were running a 125 peacock tank, and I have it right now, I've got 3 sponge filters, which would be fine once again for the biological side. And I've just got 1 Marineland Pro 450 hang on back just for the mechanical, and the tanks look great. So I don't need the 2 FX6s and the hang on back and blah, blah, blah. And they just rattle off this long list of unnecessary filtration, but
Right.
that's fine.
And Chewy says the nitrogen cycle is the most talked about,
Right back.
but probably the most least understood issue in the hobby. And that's right. Then we learn more and more and more and more and more. That's the good thing about science, is it's always evolving. Still new things to be found. Miss Patty meant to say good morning to you. Michelle Kinsley, good morning. I know that Natural Aquariums popped in, is in here, and RV, for RVing, I missed saying good morning to you guys. For RVing for life or something like that. I can't remember what the name was. Oh, there it is. RVing with G. Good morning. Oh my
I think
goodness.
I had another internet disruption there for a second.
Hey, look, I promise you, I am not. It is not a problem. It's usually me. So
I don't know what is going on with this thing. It's usually, like I said, it's usually perfectly fine.
I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Oh
so.
my goodness. We are made it to 61 people here. Golly.
Very cool.
Wow.
Nice.
Lots of folks lurking.
Patty's tea tanks. My fish tanks have filters. I, however, do not.
That is correct. Miss Patty will tell you exactly how it is. It don't matter.
Yep.
She can hurt your feelings or not. She's gonna tell you.
Well, at least you know where you stand, right? That's always an
Exactly.
invaluable thing.
That's okay, white chipmunks.
There's
We
never
have
any
all
question.
kinds of animals. You know that.
Yeah.
I've got horses, and well, I did have cows, chickens, and
Wait,
do
you've
you
got
have
horses?
any other kind of? I do. Yes.
Oh,
That's the
geez,
part
man.
of my name that's manes.
Well, I
and
know.
tails.
And cows?
Yeah.
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 You have a farm?
Well, I did. I leased 200 acres down the road for about 4 years. And the man that I leased it from, we were partners. And he's 86 years old now, and he wanted to get out. And so when he went out of business, the dynamic changed. And so it was just better for me to sell out at that point. And so actually about 2 months ago, I sold. What has it been 2 months? I guess so. I sold all my cows, but I do still have 3 horses, and I give riding lessons. Supposed to be every week, but the weather has dampened that lately. But yeah, I do. In fact, Kenny E, Aquatic Aquatics, he came when he did his fish tour. He came by. I was one of the last stops, and we went riding. I took him riding with us, so that's kind of everybody's thing. Whoever comes down and visits me, we get to go ride.
That's so cool. It really is. Yeah, I'm boring. At this point right now, we've got a couple dogs and a bunch of fish. And
Uh-oh.
He's got just a couple fish. Just a couple
Yeah,
fish.
a couple fish. Not 70 tanks with nothing in them.
Right. Right. I do want to say though, thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. We
That's
definitely hit a
right.
milestone with people being at the show, and it's just amazing. So I do want to
That's
say thank
right.
you
That's
so
right.
much. You guys are, as I always
Yes,
say, every time we sign off, you are the best, and we really do appreciate you.
that's right.
Make sure
That's
you
right.
subscribe
And
to
even
all
when
the
Jason
channels.
is here, that's right. Like, yes, make sure you subscribe so you know that when we are here. But we are
Yep.
here every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. And we try to bring you as much fish news as we can. But that's a little hard to do. So we try to bring you fish family news or, what we know is going on in the fish world.
Right on. Right
But,
on. Right on.
yes. So let's see. We are at 122.
Kenny
You guys,
says his butt still feels that right.
Yeah, when you're not used to riding, you're going to be sore the next day, but it's worth it. It's all worth it. Wasn't it, Kenny?
Yeah,
He
it's
has
funny.
got those stories. He's got those
Right
stories.
on. Right.
All right, we're going to play. If you.
Thank you, Chevy Fish. How you been?
Hey, Chevy Fish. Let's see. Let's do Stephen P. If we have any children that are watching, this is a little bit
Parental
more of a.
advisory suggested.
That's right. Why can't I ever say that? I can't ever remember to say it that way. That's what I should say, but I can't ever remember to say it that way. So while Mr.
Parental
Jason's working
advisory
on
as
that,
advised.
we're going to. Sure, Jason, take your time. Take your time. We're going to share another one of our fish family.
No worries.
Fish family songs. This is Mr. Stephen P. 2003 with the Moody Gardens rap song.
I'm here at Moody Gardens, I beg your pardon. I gotta get the shot in this spot for my fish too. I wish you would move your ass, stop touching the glass. I hate to harass, but let me take a little vid right fast. Yeah, it's Nemo, it's Dory, we all know the story. But don't forget Bruce and Crush and Bubbles and Gil. See if you can find them and let me film. Now reef preservation is quite a virtue, and every creature in the ocean has evolved to hurt you. Always swimming around, not making a sound. We'll take you down, you won't be found. And the scary motherfucker is invading every bay now. Speaking of pain, this is insane. Look at these jellies and let these death monsters entertain. This spot is pretty placid, probably better on acid. The lights, the motion, dripping on the ocean. People call them jellyfish, but I think you got the notion. A fish is a fish, and this is a jelly, I'm telling you, fella. And this is called the X-Umbrella. Nigeria, this might be my favorite area. You don't see this every day in Aquaria. And before we pivot from this exhibit, I must admit it, I got another jelly tidbit. If you've never been mired in Hydra, you might be surprised to find these guys reside in the same phylum. Hark, it's a shark, it'll bite you and leave a mark. It's kinda cool in a way, I could watch him all day, I say. But we gotta go, cause he's moving kinda slow. And I wanna pet a stingray. Now it's my first foray, but I can't see the moray. The eel, for real, up in the coral being steel. I'm gonna try to find him while he's too busy hiding. Let's jump in the other line, I wanna see some seals. Of course, I know my rhymes are forced. You're getting bored, you can't afford to hear no more. So here's my last report. It's a motherfucking seahorse. Surprise, bitch. It's a freshwater verse. I don't need to coerce or be terse. Song's getting worse. I just spit a random word like salami, so I can say, man, that's a big ass gourami. Now this is pretty weird, it's not my typical vibe, but if you're entertained, then I think you should subscribe and hit the like. I know it's trite, but the algorithm's always right, so tell the feed you want to see more of me, Stephen P. 2003.
All right, you guys, and that is the For Real Moody Gardens.
Right on, right on, right on. Jason said he's still trying to get back in.
It's okay.
So we're seeing
It's
a
all
lot
right.
of new faces today, and hopefully they
We
keep coming
are.
back. That's really awesome. I'm so
That's right.
so stoked that you guys are here.
That's exactly. That's right. And yes, Miss White Chipmunks, here in just a few more minutes, we'll let you come up, sweetheart, and I want to see them gorgeous white chipmunks.
Oh, I know, right? Those are so cool.
That's right. We will be having stickers made, having them made right now by Mr.
Oh, way
Jason
cool.
from Jordan Aquatics. So we will have those available. If you want one, email us at theaquaticmorningshow@gmail.com. I'm sure that Miss Lori will throw that in chat for us. And I for sure will be at Arlington
A day
with
from Iowa. Thank you.
stickers and some other things.
You the man.
They were in the playpen yesterday. Aw. Yes, you guys, and please, 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 don't forget to hit that red and white button so you know that we are here and you get that
Yes.
reminder in the mornings.
The
And it also
notification
helps
bell.
us out. That's right. Also helps us out to make it to our 1K as well.
Right on, right on. There he is,
All
the man,
right.
the myth, the
Welcome back,
legend.
Miss
This
Jason.
this time I got the flashing white light of death on the modem. So normally when it was going down
Oh,
before,
no.
it was like it just went down. This time it was like, oh, it's flashing. That's great.
Oh,
So,
no.
sorry for
It
the
crashed.
delay here. All right.
Oh, wow. Dadgummit. Did you get to hear the Moody Gardens rap?
Yeah, I was listening to all that. I still had, because I can switch to cellular on my phone, so I got to hear all the. I was still
Oh,
listening
okay.
to everything. I just couldn't participate because my internet
right.
doesn't want me to. It's horrible.
I am so just blown away by the talent in, the hashtag fish family per se.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's not
amazing.
stuff I could
couldn't
do.
do it. No, I can't do it either. Yeah,
No.
fish family. That's right.
I won't even try because it would be embarrassing.
Right.
Yep.
I can't carry a tune
I don't know
if
what
I
you're
have a
talking about,
bucket.
Charlie. I mean, I can sort of sing, but I can't make it up. Like, I have
Can't
no
make it up.
rhyme. Like, I can copy.
That's
do
called
that.
karaoke.
Yeah.
There's a word for that.
Yes, right.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Karaoke.
Yeah.
I can do that, but making it up myself,
No, I can't.
Oh,
I can't
there's a
karaoke
word for
either.
that too.
Talent.
When you can ad lib.
Yeah.
Actors do it all the time. When they have to.
Impromptu.
Yep.
There you go. That's the word.
Impromptu. That's what I was looking for. Barbara Jackson. Creative folks like fish. That's right. Well, look at all the tanks that we get to create too, though. So.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
I do have
technically,
a
I can't
question
do that
for
either.
you.
So That's why Joanna does her thing,
Yeah.
because I don't know how to aquascape.
Just give me some wood and
I
some
think
rocks.
if you
I'm good.
That's it. There you go. Because you still have to place that piece of wood and that rock.
Yeah, but I place it horribly. So Joanna makes fun of me all the time. She's like, all right, I know that was one of the tanks that you did a long time ago because it's just a pile of rocks in the center of the tank. I look at, there's some early videos that I did. Those ones might have been taken down just because there was no point to cluttering up the channel anymore with videos nobody was watching. But there were some early videos where I'm like, I rescaped the Cyprichromis tank and I did this to the Red Devil or the Midas cichlid tank. And it was literally, hey, I got some rocks. I stuck a pile here and a pile there. It looks horrible. And then, oh yeah, with the Midas cichlids, I've got another pile of flagstone that I just kind of stuck. I don't know. I just kind of stacked it up in the middle of the tank. And that's the extent to what you get with me when it comes to aquascaping. So if she ever stops doing the tanks, I promise you they're going to get progressively more horrible as time goes on in terms of the way they look.
Sharpie said shell dwellers. No need to escape. They do it for you.
That could be a really good reason why I like those. Those are some of my favorite fish because you're right. It's so easy. Here's some shells. Here are some random rocks just to kind of provide some interest. Go do your thing. And then you have an excuse. Why does a tank look like that? That's what they do. So
that's what they wanted to do. That's how they wanted it. You know, that's what I'm saying about those crabs that I have in my saltwater tank. Man, those guys, it don't matter what I do. I'll place the rock here, or I'll place the piece of wood here, or the oyster shells here. They're going to move the sand where they want it. And it is like, why are you doing that? This one guy yesterday, man, he had a pile of sand just shoved out from underneath that oyster shell. And I'm like, what? I mean, you're working so hard for what? To fight over it? Because then a bigger one will come along and they'll be like, hey, I like that hole. I want it.
Yeah, you just got to wonder what's going through their tiny little brain when they're doing that.
Yeah.
But they've got a reason. They just can't articulate it, that's all.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could. I told Joe last night, I said, look, I'm going to video this crab moving the sand. I said, but I want you to come up with what it's saying, and I'll just, do a voiceover for it. He was like, well, you put me on the spot. I can't do it now.
Yeah.
Any other time you had some smart remark,
Right.
Yep.
Too cool.
Okay, so I am going to, this is the time that I open up the panel for anyone that would like to come up. If you have a question, it's not a hangout. It's for someone that has a question about a tank, or you want to show us the tank, or show us your white chipmunks. But that's right. So I'm going to put the link is in chat. I'll jump over and pin it in just a minute. While we have those people coming up, Rocko, will you go over the live streams that we know of that are coming up? If you have a live stream and you want us to put it in the lineup for whatever day it's scheduled for, just let us know and we will get that in there because we do this for you.
Right on. So, okay, RLC Aquatics is on at 12 Eastern. I'm not even going to hack his name up. It's Corvus.
I was calling Corvus Ocean, but it's not Ocean.
I know it's not Ocean either. It's like
something like that.
Ocean or something like that.
Yeah. Austin, I believe.
Austin. Lefty 123 and Chattanooga Ed is on at 4:15. Maple Street Aquatics is on at 6. Aqua Alex is on at 6:30. Ohio Fish Rescue is on at 7, and Malik is on at 8. Tennessee Aqua is also on at 8. SC Aquatics is on at 8:30. LRB is on at 9:30. And Secret History Living Inside Your Aquarium is on at 10:30. Big Tank Hank is on at 11:30.
Father Fish is in that lineup too. at some time,
Okay.
but I don't remember. I don't remember what time it is because I know that him and Alex, they were all trying to get all of that lined out.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it was, one after the other, but Father Fish is in there somewhere as well.
Okay. Well, the last three we have are Big Tank Hank at 11:30. Anthony's Fishy Friends is on at midnight. And Kevin Leong is on at 1 a.m.
Sweet.
And those are all Eastern time too, by the way. So there you have
Good
it, folks.
deal. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm still looking. There it is. All right. I'm pinning it now. All right. There we go. Now I got over there to pin it.
Oh, well, Rico, make sure you send us an email, and that way we can plug it in for you on our end. That's it. The
Chewy.
Aquatic Morning Show at gmail.com.
Hello, Jason.
Welcome, Chewy.
Hello, Jason.
Hello.
I have only one question.
Sure.
How is Kenny Schultz doing?
Katie Schultz.
From the Green Water Aquarium Society?
So I don't know because the first time I've been at Greenwater was the swap. So I haven't seen anybody in basically a year and a half. And at the swap, I was so busy. We were just just doing the thing, meeting people. So I haven't seen anybody from Greenwater. I really had a chance to talk with them in like a year and a half. It's been a while.
I know Kenny from him sending my pet shop cichlids in the 70s.
Okay, cool.
So,
very cool.
anyhow, that
Hey,
was
Miss
my
White
question.
Chipmunks.
Hey guys.
Thanks, Chewy.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't want to
And I also
interrupt.
want to plug in. No, yeah, I want to plug in real fast. Well, I forgot what I was going to plug in. And this is live for you. And this is live for you, right? I'll remember
That's
in a
it.
minute. Let's see some white
Father Fish is
chipmunks.
before Lucas. Gotcha.
Oh, that's it. That's why I put it there. Jason, do you remember Terry from Terry's Tropical Tanks? He brought some lipostomas from you at the fish swap.
Yep.
It was like the last ones. It makes his day for you to give him a shout out. Just say, "Hey, Terry."
Hey, Terry, that's awesome, man. I'm glad they're working out. That's so cool. Yeah, those fish they're great. Once you have the right water parameters for them, they just really kind of do their thing, and they make the little tiny cute babies that are big enough to actually see. They're like little mini adults. They're really awesome.
Way cool.
And then another shout out is I know that someone that wanted to be with us today, but he had to go work, and that Skipper's Aquatics. He's a deputy in Pennsylvania, and so I told him to give him a shout out. So, what's up, Skipper? Hope you're being safe. All right. Solo layout. Let's see them pretty things.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Here we go. Are y'all ready? Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
Look.
Oh, wow.
Hi.
Crazy.
Those are
That
some.
is so cool.
Do you breed those?
You're so.
I'm sure trying.
Are they
sure trying? They're not
take the dog
cooperating,
outside.
but
are they as hardy as the standards?
they are. You mean standards as in the ones in North America?
Yes.
These are a lot bigger.
Yeah, they look like it.
This is my this is my oldest. This is Princess.
Wow.
Hi, Angel Pie. You're such a poser. You're the poser.
I think they're so pretty.
Jess,
Miss Carrie says, "Oh my God, so cute."
did you say, like, do you guys do like guest, I can't even talk this morning, I'm sorry. Do you guys do like guest interviews and stuff?
Yes, ma'am. Sort of.
Well, you should
We
have
do
me
like we're
on it.
doing with. Yes, for sure.
I don't
Yes, we
let
got to have you on.
I don't let anybody interview me, but I'd let you interview me.
Aw, thank you. That's awesome.
Look at her tail. Get your tail down, you silly.
I know it
So
looks like a feather.
I know. Hang on. Let me do this again. There was a big tornado here last night, so.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah,
y'all are
really.
getting some like really crazy heat, aren't you? Or fisting too, right?
That it was only 20 minutes from my house, so not cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the first thing
I hate tornadoes.
the first thing, well, I live in Canada. We don't have tornadoes. That's just not a
I
thing
know,
we have,
right?
right? Anyway, what happened? It was only 20 minutes north of me, so really scary. And
Yes.
I ended up grabbing all the chipmunks and going down to the basement. So in
Very
case,
smart.
but it took roofs off of places and stuff. So there you go. Come here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this chipmunk here, she's 120 grams. She's huge. Chaz, who's my regular colored one, he's only 80 grams. So she's a beast. Now
She's
she is the biggest.
Big girl.
Come on, Baba. they love oh, what was that? I saw the cages, was expecting birds. Oh, yeah. No. I think my cat would lose her mind if I had a bird. Honestly. So
yeah, Lady Diana, the weather is like insane. Everything seems to be flipped right now. That's so cute.
You're so cute. How'd you get
so cute?
So yeah, I have four of the white ones, one normal one, like one normal colored one. And I have rats and cats and just, it's a zoo here. Not a zoo like you have a zoo, but different. I'll show you, Chaz, if I can get the camera over there.
Oh, no, you just have smallers. I've just got ones that eat more.
See? Yeah, see, there's Chaz on the stone.
Yeah.
Can you see him?
And that's the normal, right? Yeah.
Well, it's a Siberian, but it's a normal colored Siberian, yeah. It's illegal here to own a North American chipmunk because they're native. So you're not allowed to own them. Hang on, let me see. I mean, I have tons of them on my feet outside, but sorry, guys, I'm trying to hold a camera and it's not really working very well. I'm trying. Oh, hi. Good morning. No, don't go away.
That's the one that was on the wheel yesterday?
Yeah, they pretty much live on those, so. No. Come. Jazzy, come. Come on, Baba. Hi. Where are you going? You're so sweet.
Oh my gosh, he is a lot smaller than the other one was.
Yeah, he's very tiny. He's from a different litter from a different time. So, as I said, I have the 5.
Whoa.
Oh, we lost.
Wrong button. Do that all the time. Wrong button.
Excuse me.
It isn't neat though. I mean,
Those are really cool, right?
Yeah, who'd have thought someone had some white chipmunks in their basement?
Yeah.
That's not something you see every day, though. You know, that's what makes it so really cool.
Exactly. That's amazing. Oh, and I feel so honored. She don't want anybody to interview her but me. That's cool.
That's cool.
I am like, how do you feel with people because you've made something of y'all's. You've made something of yourself in the fish world, YouTube world. How do you feel when someone comes up to you and says, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you"? You know, like,
Hey.
what would Terry call it? Hey, like, famous. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about YouTube is the only time people generally recognize me is if I'm at a pet store or I'm at one of the events.
Uh-huh.
So it's like this perfect thing where if I'm just kind of out and about, nobody would know who I am. So it's fine. I mean, there have been times I was at one of my son's wrestling meets one time and, you know, people recognize me there. I'll be out to eat every once. It's very rare, but so it's just this nice balance. I think it's cool. I just like to meet people. So the number one thing about the Aquashella is about all the events, whether I'm doing swaps or just having people come out. It's just fun to meet people and talk with them and share a common interest. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
Right.
Right on, right on.
Starstruck is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
If you could only have 40 breeders or 55s, what would you pick?
40 breeders.
40 breeder.
Yeah. I have 2 55s, but I have 8 40 breeders. And if I could get rid of the 55s, if I would do that corner of the fish room again, I would not have done 2 55s. I would have done another set of 3 33 longs like I have on my other wall. The 55, don't get me wrong, the 55 is great. And if people have them and enjoy them, I can totally see why. It's nice, especially if you're coming from like a 20-gallon tank. Usually the 55 is that gateway tank into the 4-foot tank, which can be a lot of fun. But if I had to pick, I would go the 40 breeders. I just like that layout a little bit better.
Welcome back, Chewy. With people, because you've made something of y'all, you've made something of yourself in the fish world, YouTube world. You have YouTube on. You listen to me again. Oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. You know, like, how about that? There we go. Chewy, I've muted you till you get YouTube turned off. We don't need to listen to me again.
Jess, I brought you guys out another. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to read chat. Go for it, Ben. Show us.
I thought Jason might like to see this, since I have about 30 of them. My little.
Is that a sugar glider?
Rat. No, it's an acacia rat. See?
Oh, that's the ones that look like oh my God,
the raccoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are from Africa, and I have about. That's what's in all the other cages, by the way. And yeah, this is an acacia rat. You can see they have a white belly.
Oh wow.
They have a white belly. Yes, I know. You don't like that. I know. So my friends and I imported them about 4 years ago. Yeah. So they live about 4 to 7 years. As you can see, they're cute as can be.
That is cool.
So y'all imported them?
Yeah, there's only 2 of us that have them. So in the whole continent, basically. So
wow.
Yeah. What do these eat? Oh, geez, what don't they eat? They live on an absolutely incredibly high sugar diet. In Africa, they eat acacia berries, but we don't have the climate to grow acacia trees. So in place of that, they get honey. I have to import acacia honey actually for them. And they drink honey, they drink hummingbird nectar. They eat a diet of about, same with the chipmunks, they have a diet of about 26 different foods. You'd be amazed what they eat, actually.
Probably eat a lot like a squirrel or a mouse or.
Yeah, they eat a much better diet than myself, honestly. Well, I know they eat better, like people say that they eat better than some people, and it's true, they do.
Most of our animals do.
Yeah, I have a full. I wish I could show it to you. I'll look for it. Oh, hate being on camera. Here, go on camera better. There you go. You go there. There.
They're so cute. They really remind me more of a sugar glider or a flying squirrel.
Right.
Yeah. They're not
I
very
had a flying
friendly.
squirrel
Okay.
not too long ago.
This one's really friendly because I've taken a lot of time. But here, look. There you go. They're just yeah. Now the question I get all the time about these is, does the cat, because they stick their tails out the cage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she never goes after their tails ever.
That's
So
good.
I also have cardboard pieces up against the edges so their tails can't come out the side. Right? I know that. Does that make sense? There's barriers up the sides so their tails can't stick out because I don't want the cat getting any ideas. So, hi, where are you going? No, we want to stay here on camera and be pretty. There you go. There you go, Jess.
Oh my God, so cute. Oh my God, and she's so laid back. She's like, hey.
Well, what
I'm
happened?
all right.
I'll tell you a little story about her. She got hurt a couple months ago. Her sisters beat her up, and she was barely walking. She was barely anything, and I got her in time, and I got her walking again, and I got her weight back on. And she is in a cage by herself now, like a 30-gallon tank, and she's just having a hoot and a half. So.
Right.
Right? Ain't ya? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, normally their teeth are like kind of like sewing machine needles. I've been bitten once through my finger, and it, oh my God, right through my nail, right through my finger. So you got to be a little bit careful, but this one's pretty sucky, as you can see. So hi. Anyway,
Their diet is very similar to sugar gliders.
Yeah, they are, except they don't glide. But a friend of mine has a solid white sugar glider. I've been trying to talk her out of it for I don't know, years. But it's $2,500, so I don't know. You know, it's a lot of money. But.
Wow.
Hi.
Can't imagine them. I mean, look what we pay for a fish.
Fish.
Well, I don't know, what do you pay for fish? I don't know. I've never had a fish.
The fish. It depends on the fish.
Like, can you spend $1,000 on a fish?
Can you spend $1,000 on
Maybe
fish?
not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I would say more in the saltwater world would be way up there.
But look at the arowana. You can spend money like that on arowana easy.
Yeah, it depends on how rare it is.
Because there's a place here, it's called Big Al's Aquarium. I don't know if you guys have those in the States, but they have a big shark in there, and they feed it every day at like 6 o'clock, and all the kids come and watch it get fed. It's pretty cool. I personally, and I told you guys, I don't know a lot about fish, so bear with me. I'm sorry if this is wrong, but I don't feel that a shark should be in there because it's not a big enough thing to have it in. Like, I think it needs way more room, like, than what it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel bad because it doesn't have a lot of space to swim around. I don't like that, but that's my personal thing. Yeah. So I think
we all have our personal things, and I mean, you know, they keep dolphins and all, you know, SeaWorld.
Well, it's funny because believe it or not.
But on the flip side of that, we need them for educational purposes too. Because if you didn't have them in those places, nobody would, you know, kids wouldn't be able to see them. I think that's my opinion.
That's true. By the way, Jess and Rocko, Atlantis Rattery, who just popped in here, is a friend of mine. And she is the one who imported these.
Oh, okay.
She's my best friend. So it's her who imported them. And
Way
she's
cool.
in here right now. She just
Right.
popped in here.
Way cool.
Well, that's
Just-
cool.
Nice to meet you.
It's a
We'll have to
small
dive
world,
into
guys.
that. Yeah,
Oh.
we'll have to dive into that when we can get you up here and have you as we're having Jason.
Right on.
I would be flattered.
All right. Well, we'll get with you on that. We've got a few lined up. So we'll get you in that lineup as well. Can you email me at the Aquatic Morning Show at gmail.com?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that. What you think?
Awesome.
Do you think? Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully sometime you'll be able to see them in the playpen because that's when they're the most fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can imagine that would be so cute. Right.
So I will go put. Thanks for the
Rocko,
shout out. You don't need my help for a shout out, girly. You got so much crap. Man, if you guys think I got crap, you should see her crap. Holy crap. She has stuff I wish I had.
Well, that's a lot of
but
crap.
It's a lot of crap. She has gill skills and oh my God, so much crap. She has pheasants and
Wow.
wow.
We've had pheasants
Geez, guys,
before.
Pheasants
Well,
taste
she's-
good. I know that.
I'm more of the city
Yes.
folk and she's more of the country folk. So she has totally
Right.
different stuff than me. But she has beautiful, beautiful, beautiful animals. So
Right.
Later
Rocko,
on,
can
Jan.
you go? Yeah. Well, let's see. We need to thank our sponsor, which is the Waterfront, for helping us out and being there for us when we were in need really fast. So the Waterfront, you guys go check out, is in Utah. It's a fish store.
Right on,
It's part of Peter from Guppy Guru and his partner own the Waterfront. I believe it's 3 of them that actually own it. But Guppy Guru, Peter. Yeah, y'all go check out the Waterfront in Utah. Miss Lori will throw link in chat. Them things are so cute. I mean, those are so darn cute.
that's
And
peas and
Jason, I
carrots.
want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to just hang with us and be a
Thank
special
you, Jason.
Amazing.
co-host.
Amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on and for being here. This is fun. So glad everybody.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah,
say, I
sometime.
hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Ooh.
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see y'all. I know y'all are probably about to call it quits for the day.
That's all right. What you got, man?
No, not much. I just got done doing some errands. I would have hopped up earlier, but I was just too busy.
Oh, I hear you. It happens.
Hey, it's
You
nice
get
to be on here
every-
with you, Jason.
Hi, baby.
And I went
I don't
outside
think
to
he
let the
heard
dog in, and I got bit, man.
He said
I
it's
was
nice
gonna
to be
say,
on with you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was something going on with the audio. Yeah, thanks, man. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I really like your live streams and all you do for the community, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's fun. The live streams, we always say it's our favorite part of the week because we get to hang out with everybody and just be fish nerds together. So it's
Right.
Man, you got a lot of tanks back there. What do you got?
Man, I got a bunch of everything, mainly guppies, angelfish, some cichlids, discus in another room.
Nice.
Flower horns.
Yeah, I got about 70 plus tanks going
All right.
right now.
Cool. A lot of plants, huh?
Yeah.
He's got some amazing angels. Amazing angels.
That's cool. Really cool.
Let's see.
Hang on, I'm gonna put that on.
Sorry, that's loud. Shit. Okay. Really.
Oh man, your reception's going in and out, Jason. Jay.
Is it better? Is it working?
Little bit.
Kinda.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It may be the weather today, guys. It's pretty cloudy.
Well, Jason, you'll have to check out those angels. They are like we can almost see them. They have a blue, like a bright blue hue to them. Oh, they're amazing. They're gorgeous. I've
Yeah, I'm
been
sorry.
drooling over them.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's cool, man. It happens. It happens. Believe me, we've had that kind of day.
It
They've all
normally
had a
works a
little bit
lot
of
better.
internet problems today.
It does normally work really good. And I'll say, Jason, I have to go check it out because
Yeah, it's cool.
those are some really awesome angels.
Yeah.
But well, you guys, I tell you what, we're gonna go out listening with snails from Miss Roxanne, and I want to thank everybody that came up today, everybody in chat. Oh my God, you guys rock, y'all.
The
We've got to
best.
the most we've had so far yet, and hope to keep growing. Just you guys remember, you need something to listen to when you're getting up in the morning, drinking coffee, wherever you are in the world. We're here at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we will do our best to entertain you and give you what fish news we can give you.
Very cool.
See if I can get this going here.
See, take care of yourself,
Yes, I
Danny.
had a live yesterday and I talked about your show for like 4 hours.
Oh my goodness. I'll have to, I slept a lot yesterday.
I hope some of my folks came over to see you.
I hope so too. That'd be great. And I'll get over there to yours as well.
Well, you might never leave if you come, though. It's a lot of fun.
I hear you. I'm going to have to do it then, for sure.
Thank you for stopping by, Edgar. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't have a problem or anything.